Now a shape charge is, you know, pretty unreliable. It's not a particularly direct shot, so it always receives another -1 on top of its shooting. So it actually starts on a 4. It is definitely long range, 5. But if I get down, apart from the leaves of a bush, there's obviously not a lot between me and you.
There's no cover there.
So I'm on a 5 to hit you.
Yeah.
And we've rolled a 6.
A 6.
So that, you know, that's pretty
Bazooka
spectacular.
hit. Ouch.
Yeah, I'm getting deja vu from the last time Bazooka hit your STUG.
Front armor.
So the front armor review is 9.
Yep.
I have a +5 for the Bazooka. So
you need a 4.
I need 4. So I'm rolling the dice and I'm adding +5. Let's see what we get. And I rolled a 6 again.
Okay.
That is obviously when you roll a 6 followed by 6, it's usually quite good.
Yeah.
So I've now rolled 11.
Yes.
So I've penetrated your armour.
Yep, the shape charge has gone in, has gone through the armour, and now something nasty happens with the tank. So you want to roll again to see what happens.
A chart that progressively gets better.
Pop.
Let's see, shall we? And I rolled a 6 again.
Third 6 in a row.
What can I say? I'm liking your dice.
6 followed by 6 followed by 6 means that your STUG is now a flaming wreck.
It was a STUG.
Yes.
Okay.
The good thing is, if it was any other result, if I'd rolled a 6-6-6 in a war game and I hadn't blown you up, I probably would have been a little bit aggrieved, you know.
Yeah.
You know. When you do that, that makes up for those rifle shots I missed.
Right. So what happens now? That dice, which is next to the STUG, is given to Andy.
There you go.
And it will not go back into the bag, so you will have less dice, and also you get to keep that as a kind of a memento. And it goes like, okay, I have effectively in some scenarios I have a victory point now because I killed the
very
unit.
important. Yeah. So I'm going to put that in my chateau. Take it back to headquarters.
Your chateau. Okay. And
my STUG is dead.
And if you had some smoke, you can now mark the STUG with some billowing smoke.
I don't. I must get some smoke. Yeah.
Yep. Some smoke. Smoke for the STUG.
Smoke. Pick up a flapjack. Yes.
Right. Oh dear.
So react to that, sir.
Oh dear.
Now your Panzerfaust suddenly become a lot more important.
Yes.
Luckily they're not far from the Sherman, but yes, getting your Panzerfaust in range of the Sherman is now very important.
Right.
So to return the favor.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Courage. Courage for me is the center of every war game. I think that courage can make up for bad tactics. Okay.
Okay.
And my tactics are never that great.
And blind courage can expose bad tactics.
But I'm not afraid to go to do a who dares wins kind of thing. Okay?
Let's say it.
Hence why I wanted my tank to run over those guys. Okay. I'm never going to see it happen now.
Oh.
Well,
right. These guys here are going to go into battle, basically. Okay, they can't. I know there's assaults, but the difficulty is between us and those guys.
Is an obstacle.
There's an obstacle, so they can't assault over an obstacle. They could only assault up to it.
Yep.
So the only thing that I can do is bring them up and lay down some fire and hope.
The sheer weight of firepower is going to cripple me again.
Yeah. Because that's gonna because that obstacle is still there even if I get another turn.
Yes, but what you could do, speaking of courage, in this turn you can run your squad up to the obstacle. So at the beginning of next turn, because this is the last action of the turn, correct me if I'm wrong, no, there's one more unit which is the it's a Sherman. Okay. So they could run to the obstacle this turn, and then of course relies on the fact that you get an action in at the beginning of next turn where you jump them. So but there's obviously that's risky.
Yeah,
particularly because the Sherman still has to move.
But to be fair, that's probably the least risky thing that I've just noticed. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to run them just right up to the actual obstacle. Everybody's in, okay.
Very risky.
I can't get them. I can't get them up to the obstacle, but
yeah, it's fine.
You'll know that that's where they are, okay. So because everybody's well within range to be able to get to it.
Yeah. A couple behind is fine. Yeah, that's great.
All right.
And that's them. So
I've ran them.
And as we've just said, last dice out of the bag should be
the Sherman.
Oh dear.
Come on, oddball. Let's see what we can do. So, a few targets now. I've got a squad that's protecting your objective in your command section. Could just go straight for the command section, ignore the infantry, go for the objective, but then take Panzerfaust and everything on the chin next time. And I think they're very, very exposed. So I'm actually going to try and protect them and see if I can blow you up. So
can you shoot through them?
Nope.
No, but I have to move and get past them.
Ah.
So I'm going to give them an advance.
Mm-hmm.
Going to do that and then go up to 9. So at that point,
Yep.
I've got arc on those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not shooting through my own unit.
Yeah.
So this is exactly why I needed to do the bazooka team first, because obviously that would have been a ridiculous move to stick
Now,
flank on like that.
any of you seasoned players watching this are going to be screaming at the screen right now, saying, "Why don't you just kill Silly Warren's command team and then he can't take the objective?" It's because he's being nice.
It's not just got to be nice.
Not quite, not quite. I shall point out that the Sherman has a whole machine gun as well as a turret.
Yeah. So we're going to get to that.
We're going to get to that. He's not being so nice.
Okay. Right.
Yeah,
That's
you can do
okay.
multiple things.
We can take it.
Also, very importantly, I think even if I try and damage your command section this turn, these squads are just going to flood me, and I'm not going to be able to get anywhere near the objective.
Yeah.
So I've kind of got to play offense and defense at the same time with this. So,
Okay.
so let's see how it goes. It might be a terrible decision.
Also, if the squads were not terribly damaged and you get initiative next turn, you can get some quite nice, juicy, short-range flank shots with your Panzerfaust. So the Sherman may not like being that brave, of course. So we'll see.
We'll see. So,
is there a minimum range for a Sherman? Can a Sherman be at a tank where it's too close to fire?
No.
No? Okay.
As long as you're in arc, that's fine.
yeah. Howitzers, mortars, yes.
Yeah.
So indirect firing.
Indirect
some sort of
firing,
thing.
yeah. But not in this case, it's just a
Direct
straight
fire,
into. So let's start with that. Right, so 3 basic, 4 because I've moved, 5 because you're in the scrubland and the ditch and everything else. So 5 plus HE with HE.
Yep.
You can't react by going down because you've already acted this turn,
Yeah.
so straight 5. And we rolled a 1 again, we're back to the
Missed.
1s. So
One
thing-
thing. The blender, which is good.
So he tried a high explosive shot. The other thing he could have done, there's a coaxial machine gun next to the main gun. So he could have fired that, either that or the main gun. You cannot fire both at the same
right,
time if
okay.
it's a coaxial
Yeah.
weapon.
I just wanted to blow you up. Huge explosions and stuff like that. And now I've got 4 dice from the medium machine gun in front of me. So there's a juicy looking sniper there. But no, I think we'll go for the nasty option, which you kindly pointed out to me, and go for your command section.
Yep.
So do we have any cover between me and you? Yes. We have some big fence posts. So
And you're moving.
moving, soft cover, 5s.
And small team.
6s. So we have not quite done it.
So if it was a normal squad, it would have hit you twice. But because you're a small team, just a few guys there, then you got away with it. So the Sherman did nothing.
Wow.
Did nothing.
Okay.
Mostly down to rolling
So
ones and twos.
we put our dice in the bag, the common
Yes.
dice.
Any ambushes or down order could stay if they wanted to. And now, of course, there's one less German die in here.
Yes.
So it's 5 to 4. So and when you write your lists, you can write them however you want. Sometimes you'll want to go for a lot of units, so you can outnumber the dice of the opponent. So it's tactical advantage whether or not to go for more dice in there or for more well-trained troops and more veteran tanks and things like that, and have fewer dice in the bag.
But generally, the more you spread your points across units, the more fragile those units are likely to be.
Yeah, of course.
And if you're playing a scenario where you score victory points by killing units, of course, having a vast army with lots of dice suddenly becomes a liability.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the scenario as well. And the rulebook has 6 core scenarios, which are a mix of killing the enemy, occupying objectives, or both in the same mission. So. Right. The next unit to act. So what do you want?
Attention!
What do you want? I think Panzerfaust against Shermans are a
My
pretty
Sherman
urgent
needs to
thing.
get the hell out of Dodge. Where's reverse?
Reverse. Or run them over. Try the Warren tactic.
Right over.
Try over them. And it is
Germans.
Right.
Do it now.
No,
I
right.
actually
Do it
I
now.
only see one course of action.
Yes.
Really, at this point.
You must.
And it's not what you're thinking.
Surely.
I'm gonna run the guys in to get the objective and call in the airstrike.
Absolutely. I thought you'd forgotten all about that. I was hoping.
No, the moment that STUG went pop, I realised I have only one option left. So
See, I am more mundane. I would have relied more on a nice sight Panzerfaust in the flank of the Sherman at point blank. But no, it's okay. Let's try your. Let's call in the American Air Force to take out the American tank. Yes, of course.
So I'm going to.
You can just advance, and
I'm
they're
going to
within
advance
6.
them,
Aren't they?
yeah. So advance, and they're in there. Is that fair enough, guys?
Yeah, perfect.
Yep.
They've picked up the bag.
They have.
Okay. We want him standing there. True line of sight. Yeah, so
Keep your head down, man.
get down there a little bit. Okay.
New target for the bazooka.
They're down like that. They're going to. They can shoot as well, can't they?
You did an advance
You're going
order?
to fire your. The
that-
airstrike
that
is a fire
that
order.
counts
So
as the
yeah,
fire
it's-
order.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
no, actually, we did say that in this game
Sorry,
we
it's an
were
advance,
just
yeah,
getting a
yeah,
free
yeah.
airstrike.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
exactly.
Oh, so I could shoot and take an airstrike at the same time then, yeah?
But the guy that is the officer is not going to shoot. He's going to call the airstrike.
Okay.
But the other guy
Yeah,
could shoot.
he's got a sub.
Okay, so he gets one shot.
He
He's
has
submachine
a submachine guns. He gets two shots.
He gets two shots.
But he's only got a 12-inch range.
He's only got a 12-inch range. Is he
So
in?
he is well in.
Yes.
He no modifier for moving because it's an assault weapon. So any of those, but it is over half range.
Yeah.
So you start on a 3, half range, 4
Four.
plus.
Four
That's
plus.
it.
Would you like to go to ground?
I don't think I will. Sadly
you
enough.
would.
You wouldn't.
Yeah.
And
And that's why
That's
spraying it all
okay.
around it. Obviously, too busy getting off the fence.
Just to try and get his man in.
And the officer, as a special rule, one off. This is not quite by the rules, but we're following his great fan. The officer, instead of shooting, is gonna just basically take this smoke canister of yellow smoke and go lob it.
Gonna go behind Alessio's head and take out the reason that.
We still don't know whether
Yeah,
it comes in straight
exactly.
away. So it's calling for back. Anyway, so which unit would you lob your canister of yellow smoke at?
I think I'm going to shoot it over the bocage, actually, at these guys here.
But you need to see the target.
Oh,
You need to see somebody
yeah.
lob it.
Right.
no telepathic.
I think he's trying. I think he's trying to do the weirdest possible thing instead of the right thing. Right.
Power gaming reaches Beast of War finally. Yeah.
Repeat with me. The Sherman.
I'm going to fire at the Sherman.
But actually, to be honest, the Sherman, of course, makes sense because he's a, if you get the right plane in, and if he's a heavy, heavily armed anti-tank and a ground
Yeah,
attack
because we
thing.
don't know what plane's going to come in.
You
at
don't
this
quite know.
stage,
You're coming for backup. Basically, you're in a very kind of World War II way. You're not actually radioing anywhere at the moment. You're just lobbing a canister of yellow smoke. So there'll be a yellow column there calling in any plane around. It's like yellow smoke, destroy the target. But obviously, we are assuming that maybe the visibility is grey, so they will actually mistake the Sherman for a Panzer IV and just go in and attack it, if it's them or it's just infantry. I mean, obviously, in World War II, with the kind of technology available, that happened. People very often, strafe the wrong side. That happened all the time on both sides. So, in fact, there's actually a lot of the anti-aircraft weapons, if we had any, even in this game, there's a rule that actually when an airstrike comes in, pretty much both sides start firing at the incoming aircraft because you never know. And again, it happened a lot.
You just never know.
So anyway, the choice of the Sherman is because it's a big threat for you, and if you get the right plane in, if there's a Thunderbolt coming in, then they can actually have a chance of taking it out. However, if it's just a strafing fighter, this not probably going to do much to it against it, while actually would hurt infantry quite a lot. So, your choice.
Well, it's going to have to be the Sherman.
Well programmed.
So what is now from this point on? Okay, the rule, the only bit of this rule that we actually made up was the fact that he got to call in an airstrike
that's
by
the-
reaching the objective.
Yes.
Okay. From here on in now, this is an actual proper full-on airstrike rule
From the rules.
from the
From the
book
rules,
itself.
indeed.
So Alessio, can you talk me through? It's going to be a Sherman. What do I need to do?
So basically, normally what the unit in this game that can do that kind of stuff is what is called a forward observer. So it's that special type of officer, not just a lieutenant like that, which has the ability of radioing home and calling in airstrikes. So it would identify a target, and in this case, you have identified the Sherman as a target. So that from the moment on, from now on, is a normal rule, is a normal thing. So at the beginning of each turn, from now on, so not now. The signal went in, you need a little bit of time, of course, for the thing to happen. At the beginning of each turn, we will roll a die. And there is a chance, basically, on a 4+, the airstrike comes in against your target you identified. On 2 or 3, nothing happens for that turn, so it's not there yet. So you will roll again next turn until it arrives. On a 1, the airstrike comes in, but mistakes the target, and so your enemy gets to choose one of your units. So there's still a chance.
Reposition the smoke.
Okay.
So there's actually a chance that the pilot gets it wrong and sees some infantry there and goes, "Hey, yeah, them," and just strafes them instead. That happened again. So.
And that's very similar to off-table bombardment as well. A lot of people always ask about, where are the big guns coming in and laying down the battery beforehand. And it's the same thing. You have a forward observer. You put down a marker. there's a chance that the off-table artillery will come in.
Battleships and stuff like that. They're
all sorts, long
artillery batteries, far away.
And every side used it quite regularly.
The rules and the mechanics of the game can take that into account. Big old shells.
Yes.
Yeah, but basically what happens is, in an artillery barrage, an airstrike is more precise. It does a lot of damage, but more focused on a particular target. An artillery barrage is a bit more indiscriminate. So you pick a point on the table, and then within a certain range of that, suddenly artillery shells start raining and can hit everything in that area.
Right. Well, let's do my airstrike then. What do I need to do? So I've picked
at the moment, nothing.
So
at the beginning of next turn, we will see if the airplane arrives.
Let's put a little bit of light green smoke on it.
Light green on that. So. That's the
target has been identified.
Right.
Plane is on its way.
Hand in the bag then, Alessio.
Hand in the bag. Green?
It's green. It is green. Now, I've got a couple of things under massive threat here. These guys, I don't think you're going to be going for them anytime soon, although they have a nice juicy target there. These are the ones that you're obviously going to try and threaten. You're either going to wait for the airstrike, or you can do those. I think I am going to open fire with all guns onto these guys with the infantry. So I'm going to give them an advance order. As we said earlier, 9 basic, no NCO, so down to an 8, and a pin marker, so down to a 7. So 7 or less before they do anything. And we get a 7. So they've lost their pin. Now I am going to... There's no penalty for moving and firing with the Americans, so there's no reason for me to just have to sit there and go forward. What I'm actually going to do is come sideways. Now you can still see me, but I want to try and drag you away from that objective as much as possible.
Also, getting a good distance from something that an airstrike has been called on is normally a wise thing, because things happen around the target on an airstrike sometimes.
So there's multiple reasons for doing that. So now we open fire on the unit at the hedgerow. So we still have the BAR for 2 dice, and then 5 other rifles, so 7 dice. Nice and simple. So starting on a 3, no penalty for moving, but you are behind soft cover, so I'm on a 4+.
Force,
Now, do you wish to go to ground?
No.
There's still fairly important things for them to do. No. But it's always a question.
Urgent stuff to do.
Oh
my God!
Oh no!
How many 6s can you roll?
Sadly, they don't mean a lot at this point. 5 hits.
Wow.
Good shooting tech. So they're obviously just holding it at bay.
Well, they're shooting at point blank.
Point blank.
Look at that.
I get a hit marker before anything
You do, just the one.
Yeah.
And then I get 5 rolls to wound. And I get 4 wounds, one of which is a 6. So I can now re-roll this. If I get another 6, it's exceptional damage, and I can choose the Panzerfaust, sorry, the soldier, to get rid of. And I don't. I roll a 2. So it's 4 guys.
Just 4 guys.
Now, I do believe you've got 8 men there.
That's right.
Yeah, so I choose all my rifle guys because I want to keep my submachine gun. Do I have a submachine gun? I do.
You do. You have a submachine gun, a Panzerfaust, and your LMG team left.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Only special guys left.
So there's my 4 guys left.
So now you're under such severe fire, you need to see if you hold your nerve or actually just retreat back to
So they need to take a test, and they're -1 because of the hit on it.
Are they within range of the officer?
Not within range of
the
officer. So they are normally an 8.
Normally a 9.
Normally a 9, and they're down to an 8.
Because of the pin marker, that's it.
Okay. And they're fine.
They're fine.
They hold on.
So
bravely. But they did take an awful punishment.
They did.
Right.
Okay. And now it's the...
Give me a grey one, Alessio. Just give me a grey one.
I'm afraid not.
Oh no, I got another green one.
So let's keep the pressure up, I think. We're going to advance the Sherman. Now, Shermans can ignore, all tanks can ignore just hedgerows and fences and things like that. So I'm actually just going to drive straight through it.
Bust straight through it.
Use my turn to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to...
the airstrike follows the Sherman, doesn't it?
It is. You've popped the smoke onto the...
you identify the target.
Okay.
Now I'm just for game purposes to show you how versatile the turret weapons are.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to fire the machine gun forward, and then the other machine gun down the trench backwards.
Oh,
it does do that.
Okay.
Well, I mean, obviously now we did it with the smoke, but clearly in a normal game you would have radio home and went, okay, enemy tank, these are the coordinates, call in an airstrike. So he's not. That's why he's not following you.
Yeah. In a game, could he have moved out of the way of an airstrike
No, it follows a unit.
It follows a unit.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You're actually physically telling the pilots all that.
That's what happens with artillery, actually. With artillery, you know where the barrage is coming in.
Yes.
And so that moving away from that area is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
As fast as possible.
So, as you can imagine, a Sherman at point-blank range opening up with machine guns should be pretty messy.
It's going to be devastating.
So
yes.
let's see. So first of all, we'll go with the machine gun on these guys.
Yep.
They are still definitely in cover, and I've still definitely moved. So we're on 5s. And we get 2 hits.
So another pinning marker.
Pinning markers, right.
And 2 rolls to wound. We get no wounds this time. So, but it's another pin, so we're happy with that. And then machine gun onto the full squad. Again, they are definitely in scrubland in the ditch, so there's definitely still cover there, so it's 5s again for them. And we get 1 hit this time.
So I get a pinning marker.
Pin marker, and one of them actually dies.
And 1 dies, and I know who that's going to be. It's going to be another one of my riflemen.
Yes.
Okay, so the Sherman is rampaging, shooting people all over the place.
Yeah. But I've
Pinning lots of units.
I've still got Panzerfausts
You're still
On
good.
either side.
either side, and an airstrike.
But now you have pinned Panzerfaust on either side. So that's the important difference.
Yeah,
They may do nothing and just sit down and go, oh, this would do.
Yeah, heavily pinned because both sides actually have
It's me again.
2 pins.
Yep,
Yes.
and it's the Americans again.
This is the Americans again.
I'm under severe pressure here.
This is, this is coming good. So these Americans are now going to break cover. They're getting pretty confident. They can advance forward and shoot the infantry squad. They are all at long range.
Yep.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rifles, and the SMG is out of range. So 5, 6, 7.
So you have cover.
Yep, cover and long range. So 5s. Unless you want to go to ground. I keep asking.
No.
You might take it eventually. And we have no hits again. We're back to that chestnut.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
You got away lightly there. Surely now there must be a German die.
Probably the
broke cover for no reason.
The
Yeah.
sight of seeing a Sherman
It's like, what are they doing?
jump a fence and rotate 90 degrees in midair, and it's Americans again.
Guess what? It's Americans again.
Yeah.
I'm not so badly bothered actually now, because you don't have very much.
No, I've done
you
the
can do with
main
these.
thing.
That's what you think.
Yeah, that is what you think. Is it? I'm going to advance the bazooka team. They can't actually see anything at the moment. So we're going to walk down the trench. I'm going to take a shot straight forward.
So you can shoot a bazooka on the run.
It's still only 1. It's very,
More
very
fire.
inaccurate.
Yeah.
So I've moved. I am just under half range. But there is cover, and obviously I get the -1 for being a shape charge anyway. So what do we say? So moved, cover, shape charge, 6s.
6s.
No.
Okay.
Very, very inaccurate. Next dice.
Yes.
Well, there should be 3 in there, and 2 belong to me. But this is
Americans
good.
again. Yes, it is good actually.
is
At this
good for
stage it
me.
is.
Yes.
At this stage it is.
I'm glad you think so. Okay, I'm just
Or
going
is it? Well, it depends if he gets them within a foot. We'll see.
to get my my command section out, because I need to be coming after that briefcase. I can't forget that. So I am within 12 inches of the squad.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
So I've got an SMG and a rifle.
Thompson.
3 dice. I might need to do this separately actually.
Yep.
Sure, so it's long range for the Thompson.
Yes.
So that's 4s. Cover 5s.
Yep. And you moved, but that doesn't count.
Doesn't count because it's in
Yeah.
salt
Well,
weapon,
it
so I missed
misses.
with that. Whereas the rifle, I don't get the movement and it's in short range, so it's just 4s. So I do hit with that one.
That's all right.
Another pin marker for that one. And 1 roll kills 1 rifleman. Sorry, kills 1 soldier. I'll let you choose anybody you want.
It was a rifle.
It was a rifle.
Funny enough.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
I think he's getting this game. Yeah.
Right.
That was hard on the Germans.
Now that is my entire force is gone now.
Right.
So we've had a pretty devastating
So
turn there.
I can relax.
Yes.
Would you count that they are up to the obstacle?
If they wish to, yeah, you moved right up to the obstacle in your turn. You actually said you were going up, so yeah.
Yeah.
So that's fine. If you wish to assault over it, you're more than welcome. So assault from it. Sorry, no.
I'm going to run them. Okay.
He's not going to Panzerfaust the Sherman. Okay.
No, I'm not going to panzer faust.
Okay,
No.
because it's not.
He's under so much fire, it would be quite
That's the worst thing.
I'm
impossible
going to
shot.
run them into them.
You're assaulting the
assaulting
command squad.
Nice. So let's see if we can show everybody what combat. How
Okay, so
So before you move,
okay,
you
you
would-
get to stand and shoot at me, don't you?
you could, however, they already have an action on them.
Yeah.
So you caught them flat-footed as they were running towards you, etc. So they don't. If they were there, ready, not acted yet, they could see you come in and they spend their action by shooting you up as you went in. But
Yeah,
they can't. So
But you do need still need to roll for an order.
Oh,
You're on
sugar.
9 minus 3 for your pin mark is 6,
Yeah.
but you've got your command section there. So 7 or less, and you actually follow it through. So you should do it.
7 or less. Come
Yeah,
on,
you're well
please,
trained, Werner.
Please.
7.
5, 6, 7.
Oof.
Yes. That was close.
So- Let's do
get
this in the sequence.
actually, there wasn't. That was because you had an officer in range. Because
Yes.
if you rolled a 7 and the officer was not in range,
would
that
have failed.
-1 actually
Yeah.
is what made it happen. Without the officer barking orders at them, they would have
Yeah.
just hit the ground.
So,
So let's do it in the correct sequence. You lose 1 for doing the order.
Yeah.
Although that's a bit up. We'll see why in a second. You then move your distance 12.
yeah.
As Alessio said, I cannot react because I've already acted this turn.
Okay.
So you've caught me flat-footed. You get them in.
Everybody's in.
Now, one person has to reach, and then you just
Yeah.
assume that everybody's in combat, and you can move them for aesthetics reasons. So
It doesn't really matter. If one guy makes it, they all make it.
Okay.
now at this point, both sides lose all their pin markers.
Right.
They're not under fire anymore. The blood is pumping, the adrenaline's going, and you get yourself ready to fight.
Cool, so I
it's
can
do or
actually-
die.
I can get
You
rid of them.
lose those 2 pin markers.
All of those. Yes.
So it's actually
That's
really quite important.
Basically representing the fact that if there's people stabbing at you with a bayonet, actually lying flat on the ground, hoping not to be hit,
Yeah.
doesn't really quite work. You have to stand up and defend yourself.
Yeah, and there's a clarity of a close combat because
Yes.
it does focus the mind. Okay,
Let's see.
so
Now you've caught me in the open.
Yes.
So you get to strike first.
yes,
If I was in a defended position, it would be simultaneous.
yes,
So there's always an advantage of charging in. The number of dice you get is represented by the type of weapon you've got. Normally you get 1 per person.
Yeah.
If you've got an assault weapon, you get an extra dice. So you've got 4 guys, one of which has got an SMG, so you get 5. 5 dice from 4 guys.
5 dice.
So people that get 2 attacks instead of a single one would be people with assault weapons, pistols,
Yeah.
submachine guns, or people that are particularly trained in close combat or maybe carry kind of cultural weapons like Gurkha carrying the kukri knife, etc. They get particularly nasty. It's a rule called tough warriors, tough fighters, which
Yeah.
means in close combat they get 2 attacks instead of 1.
Yeah.
Stuff kind of stuff that would work there. Cavalry,
Yeah.
if they get in,
Extra
which is very
attacks.
rare. They normally get shot
Just
on
so
the
if we can
way.
get a shot of what we're looking at here. This is our combat. We've come out of here from the objective, and we've rushed up here, primarily just to wind Alessio up by doing things he doesn't expect.
It's very good, actually. Yeah, you're taking out the enemy command squad, likely.
Yeah.
So it's a good move.
Okay, so what do I need then?
There's no roll to hit. You're not actually shooting and trying to get a target. This is somebody in front of you. They are flesh and blood. You just roll to wound.
And
So you've
that's
got
3s.
4s.
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 Force
Three.
because they're normal guy.
Yeah.
4s, okay.
You basically hit with everything.
So you've got 2 hits.
2 hits.
2 dead. Well, sorry.
2
Yeah,
dead.
2 wounds.
Yeah.
Now you do get exceptional damage. So you rolled 2 6s. So ordinarily, yes, I'm a unit of 2, so I'll just die. But even in close combat, there may have been a chance that you kill a sergeant or an NCO or an LMG team or something like that. So,
Yeah.
but in this case, you've just killed them, and you get their dice as a
Yep.
trophy. And now you get to consolidate d6 inches in any direction to try and regroup.
These 6 inches. I guess 6.
So you can't go into a new combat, but you can just.
All right, so I
move them.
can't consolidate into another combat and
No.
just chew my way through the battle.
No.
Okay.
But
that's
what you
okay.
can do is move your Panzerfaust closer to your
Yes.
target. The next turn.
Right enough, my Panzerfaust could take out the bazooka team. So,
Good. Yes, if you go and hit them with the head with the Panzerfaust, you probably hurt them.
okay. To win the objective, I have to get them off the board. Is that correct?
The officers, yes.
Yeah.
The guys with the briefcase.
But you didn't say which direction off the board.
Correct.
Okay, right.
You're more than welcome to come this way.
Well,
Yeah.
we could check the rules, or we could just make it up.
Yeah, I do believe off your own table edge.
I think it is your own table edge.
Yeah.
We'll double check that if you want, but
Right, d6 inches.
Yep. So you rolled a 6. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to jump over the bocage? Do you want to go back towards the Sherman? Do you want to... whatever you want to do.
Yep, it's just off the table.
Yeah, I have a thing. I could jump over the bocage, couldn't I?
You could jump over the bocage. And then you're safe. And you come back out next turn.
Yeah, I'll do that if
Okay.
you lift them over
Yeah,
for me.
6 is absolutely
yeah.
enough to get across to the other side.
So they've done
Take
their
their order
thing.
with them.
Yeah. And hand in the bag.
Is there your own edge of the table? Yep.
Oh, it's my own edge
Yes,
of the table.
yes, it is.
Okay. I believe I have one more turn.
You one more dice, you mean? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see. There's a sniper. Oh, 2 more in fact.
2 more. You got
2 more, yeah.
Unit
Them
two
and the
as well.
sniper.
Oh, and the snipers.
One fairly important thing to remember with Panzerfausts
Mm-hmm.
is they are one of the only exceptions, apart from turret weapons we were saying earlier, that they can actually choose a separate target to the unit. So
Mm-hmm.
your Panzerfaust is allowed to shoot the Sherman at the same time as the rest of the unit is shooting infantry, because they know very specifically what their role is. They're
Can
an
they
anti-tank
shoot
weapon.
the Sherman while the rest of them charge
that.
the infantry?
No.
Right.
No.
I'm going to charge the infantry.
Sorry, by the way, there's one thing that I was thinking that we need to point out, that in the scenario, in the normal, this is kind of roughly based on a scenario that's in the book. In the scenario in the book, the briefcase can be carried by any unit. Well, actually, we decided for this game to actually
just
allow
command
only the
section.
command sections. So pointed that out. Okay, so you're assaulting the infantry instead, of course.
Yep.
Of course you are. And then you're gonna assault the tank with your sniper, right?
Well,
With a rifle butt. Come out! Come out!
can you assault a vehicle?
You can.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
But with 2 guys against a moving Sherman, I don't think is a good idea.
What about 4 guys against a moving Sherman?
It's chance.
But
chance.
Not a very good
shooting
chance.
my Panzerfaust at
It
it
would be a better chance, yes.
Yeah.
Point blank, shooting the rear with a Panzerfaust would be a very good chance, in fact. Because actually, you're facing a 3-hour
Yeah,
armor.
I'm going to
Yes.
shoot the Panzerfaust in the into the
Okay.
the arse of
So
the
first
tank.
of all, take your order as a
You
fire
may do
order
nothing
at
at all,
-2.
of course. Yep.
Yeah, so it's a fire order at -2. Oh,
Yeah.
gold. So that's 9, 8, 7.
7. Here we come.
If you had an officer, it would be
But
an
they'd
8.
have to take this order regardless of what they were going
Exactly.
to do. So.
I won't worry too much. Yes.
Fine, 4.
So,
No, actually, it wasn't regardless. If you order them to go down,
Yeah.
that's always automatically
I'm going to have
successful.
lost a
at the end of
pin
the turn,
marker at the end of the
When
turn.
you- when you do
Okay,
that.
if you
right.
keep it for next turn,
Right, anyway, so the Panzerfaust,
we'll fire that.
I think he's in range.
I
believe
think
he
it
is.
is. Maybe even in short range.
He is in short
fact.
range, yeah.
Yes, short range, yeah. So it's the best shot you can take.
So, 1 shot.
Yes. 3, there's not enough to cover the tank.
No. So a 1,
Also 1.
I believe, is a miss. Sadly.
You probably fire it the wrong way around.
Okay,
Oops. So now you replace that guy with a rifleman because he fired his Panzerfaust.
What?
It's a one-shot weapon.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Ein Panzerfaust.
Right, I think I should have just stuck with my original plan. Okay, the rest of them, however, can shoot at
Yes.
him.
So you've
right.
got 2, 6 dice,
Yep. 2, 4, 6.
and the only modifier is the pin marker. So you're on 4s.
This is going to
I
hurt.
need 4s.
It's not bad.
That's not bad. So
4.
it's 4 hits.
So it's a pin, 4 rolls to wound.
So I need 4s again.
Yep.
Come on, give me some 4s, baby. And
good.
2 dead.
2, one of which might be exceptional.
One of which
You rolled
might be
a 6, yeah.
exceptional. So,
That's it. It is exceptional.
No,
It isn't.
so I'm going to
2
take off.
more guys.
right.
Not quite enough for a morale test.
No, so 2 out of 6, not quite.
And then I get one more shot.
You
Or I
have
get
Yeah,
one
then
more
the
turn.
last action is the sniper. Yep,
a
which
sniper. So he probably only has
assault the tank.
one target. So yeah, you've got
Yeah.
the NCO in the infantry squad
Yeah,
there is probably
so-
the best target.
It's the sergeant again,
Fire,
yes.
NCO. One
Yeah.
shot. Needs 3s.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's +1, -1.
Yep,
That's a
hits.
hit.
That's a
And then
hit.
a
Right
roll to
between
wound.
the eyes. 4 plus to kill him.
4 plus to kill him.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So again, double whammy. Lost the
Penny
sergeant.
marker and lost the sergeant, so crippled the
Effectively
morale.
-2
of them.
morale. Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
Okay, so that's that turnover. We collect our command dice.
Yes,
of
indeed.
which I think I've only
Order dice.
Order dice.
Call them order dice.
Order dice. I think I've only 3. So
3? Surely not. 1, 2, 3, 4. You should have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've put that
okay,
one.
right.
Okay, yep.
Perfect.
So actually, at the moment, the Germans have 4 units left. The Americans have 1, 2, 3, 4 units left.
4 units left, so we're even. I think
it
that's
about?
actually probably more significant than you might first think, because that will probably be my only unit if this dies the airstrike that could chase these guys before they get off the board.
Yeah.
So you know that's pretty damn good.
So, first things first. We roll.
Now it's the beginning of the
airstrike.
3rd turn, yes,
Yeah.
and we roll for the airstrike. So you need to roll a 4 plus.
I need to roll a 4 plus.
Not a 1. You don't want to roll a 1.
I don't want to roll a 1. I rolled a 4.
That's
4.
good. So the airstrike comes
Plane
in
comes in.
on target.
Right. How does
So,
this work then?
First
Okay.
of all, let's follow the sequence. But first of all is they start to hear the noise of something, a very powerful engine roaring coming from the sky. So they start to worry. There is a lot of worrying going on about in that area. As a shadow, something coming in, and they go, oops.
So every unit, friend or foe, within 12 inches of the tank is pretty worried about this plane coming in.
Yeah.
So we measure to all of them. So that's my guys there. That is your sniper there. So the only units not affected are the ones at the back of the board just here. In fact, the bazooka's not in as well.
Okay.
So we've got a few there. Now this doesn't cause any actual damage. This is a pinning. This is a suppression thing. So for each unit, we'll roll for each other's. It's D3 -1 pin markers straight onto them. So I'll let you start with my guys.
Okay.
So infantry squad over here. Get
6.
So that's
2 pin markers.
2 pin markers with -2.
They basically hit the dirt.
the Sherman itself.
Oops, incoming.
Gets 2 pin markers.
6.
So yeah,
2 pin markers. That's very important because you really want to pin the Sherman, because if the Sherman
Yeah.
starts to be ineffective, then it's good.
If a sniper can't score a hit on a Sherman,
You can hit it, but you cannot war it. In order to pin a target which has an armored target, so a 7 plus, you need a heavy weapon. Any hit from a heavy weapon,
right, so
even if it's just a 50 cal,
pop guns.
No,
you need at least a 50 cal heavy machine gun. Heavy machine gun hitting a tank would worry the crew, because again, hearing this very loud bangs hitting, they don't know if it's just a 50 cal or if it's actually a
These guys are
gun.
all starting to panic now. So
Yes.
right, okay.
So I'll roll for your units. So we'll
Yeah.
start with your infantry section there, which also takes 2 pin markers.
So everybody's really worried about
Your sniper squad, don't take any.
Okay.
And very, very importantly, your command section, take 2.
Oh.
So
Oh dear.
so now they're a touch
This is
worried.
not good all round, is it? Really?
Now, if there was any weapon with the flak rule, like machine guns mounted on vehicles for air defense, at this stage they will start to prepare for
Anything
the
with
plane.
the flak rule would all start firing.
We'll start worrying. We'll start worrying about it.
Yeah.
Well,
But we don't have anything with flak.
no,
do
we don't think. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll simplify things. But anyway, so now the guy doing the airstrike, which in this case you get to use the enemy's plane to do that. You put the marker anyway within 18 of your target, anywhere, because it doesn't matter what angle they're coming in. Obviously, they could be coming from there,
Yeah, the only thing it would affect the angle or where you want to put it would be if there was flak around the board,
Okay.
because you measure to it.
So if you see a big
So this
anti-tank,
is not affecting the target. I can't say, well, I want them to hit that, but otherwise hit that type thing.
No, this is
no.
all the strike will be on.
that's just for the flak,
So
basically.
it's there on the tank.
Yeah, and
that-
within 18 you put the
Okay, now within 18 inches,
Yeah.
put the plane.
this is the direction he's coming in from.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
You always
can
strike the top
Can I
arm.
kill my own guys here, Alessio? is
No.
what I'm asking.
No.
No.
Not with an airstrike. Artillery,
Okay.
yes.
Alright,
It's a bit
okay.
more indiscriminate.
So if I bring him in this way, does that work okay?
That's
Yep.
fine.
Doesn't matter where it comes
The
from.
only position, the only reason why that matters is if there is flak, because basically if
Okay.
there was a big anti-aircraft vehicle here or some machine gun, you would try to get as far away as possible from it.
Oh, I see.
But if there isn't at the moment, so really it's irrelevant where you
Right,
put
so
it
it's
for
more to
this
do
one.
with the damage he could take.
Yes,
than-
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
trying to get in, staying away from the flak.
I think definitely at this point we've got to
Yeah.
get the zoom out of touch. There we go.
So-
We've got an aeroplane coming in on the Sherman.
Now I roll to see what type of airplane it is.
Indeed,
Yes?
indeed. That's what we see. We could get a fighter bomber, or even like a dive bomber, a ground attack.
Okay, so I've rolled a 1. That's crap, isn't it?
Unfortunately, very unlucky. It was the only result you could have rolled. You get a fighter.
Yes.
However, fighters did have fairly heavy stuff on them. Some of them automatic cannons, 20mm stuff,
Yeah.
fired from an aircraft moving at speed. against light vehicles, that can really go through them. So you can armor cars, you can absolutely destroy them even with a fighter.
Yeah.
Against a medium tank is going to be either difficult or impossible. Let's see what penetration you get. So you get a +1 penetration, which basically the equivalent of roughly heavy machine guns, which would be what mostly a fighter plane would have.
Yeah.
So with a +1, you get an extra +1 because you're hitting the top armor, which is the same as the side armor.
Yeah.
So you're figuring on +2. Unfortunately, 6 + 2 is 8.
Yes.
And the armor of that is 9.
Yeah.
So a fighter cannot take out a medium tank. It could take out a light tank, like a Stuart. It could.
Yeah, yeah.
It could. With a very lucky shot, it could.
Yeah.
Against a Sherman, it can't. However, what it can do, it can pile in more pinning on it, of course, because they will go bang, 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 stuff, and so it's still worth doing.
So if I can get some pinning on it, then that would be good. So
Some
how many
extra
shots
pinning.
does it get?
A lot. Which is why, if instead of strafing a vehicle, would have targeted an infantry unit, they would now receive a lot of fire from. Okay, so 3d6 hits.
3d6 hits.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
If you had
3d6.
been hit by flak, that would reduce the. Well, actually, you don't need to roll to penetrate because you can't penetrate,
Yeah.
so it doesn't really
just
matter.
rolling to try and get another pin on it.
Yeah, just
So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
really, you didn't even need to roll that. It's just for for the sake of, hey, I hit you 12 times.
Yeah. Okay,
If you were an infantry unit,
Yeah.
and the infantry units can go to ground and try to reduce a bit of that, but basically it's quite horrible.
Probably worthwhile pointing out the other types of aircraft you could get.
Yes, you can get a fighter bomber, which hit you with 2d6 hits with a +2 penetration value, so they have a chance of taking out
Double
medium
penetration.
tanks, etc. Yeah.
+3, so yeah, that's a very good chance.
But once again, these are fighter bombers. They're not particularly designed to take out armor.
It's not a tank hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, if you're on a 4+, what you get is exactly that. You get a tank hunter, something with rockets, something with really heavy bombs, something that a dive bomber, a Stuka, something that carries enough payload to actually worry anything on the table. And they get a +4 penetration, plus the fact that they hit on top is a +5, so can take out anything, including even super heavy tanks. So that's what you want, which is a 4+ chance of getting it. Unfortunately, you only get a fighter.
Okay.
So that Thunderbolt obviously had spent already his rockets. It was going back to base without rockets, and he went, oh dear, if I had my rockets. But he still has machine guns, heavy machine guns, and goes in and shoots it with the machine
Trying to
guns.
get the tank to keep its head down.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So
Okay.
he
But
just
you've
strafes
just
it.
put 3 pinning markers on it. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
3 pinning markers is nasty.
Yeah.
Right, so hand in the bag then, I believe. It's now the start of the turn.
As he goes back to base, it's like, that looked like an American tank. I wonder why they put yellow smoke on it. I don't understand, but whatever. I obeyed orders. Right.
Back in the bag.
Okay.
Yep.
I will start the 4th turn.
Go on, give me a grey one. Give me a grey one. I really, really, really need it. Or I'm in stuck.
Really need it.
Yeah.
If you bribe me, I could make sure that it is grey. It is!
It is grey!
Ah.
Hey. Right. Right.
What do you
Right.
do?
I was asking for a grey one, and now that I have
Yeah.
it, I
But
still
that
don't know
hasn't
what to
moved.
do with it.
Yeah. Your objective is now getting them off there.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you leave them there for too long, I'm going to try and surround you. So if that is one of your biggest priorities, I don't know.
That is my priority.
Yeah,
so I'm going to
absolutely.
run them. Okay, but I
so-
have to check and see if they're going to do it.
Yeah.
2 markers
Yep.
on them.
So
So they were 9s. They're down to 7s, but he is a commander.
He is a
Does
commander,
that take him up
so-
to an 8?
yep. So there we go.
They're
It's a
fine.
6. Fine
Okay,
anyway.
so-
So lose one of your pin. Back down to 1, and then get 12 inches the hell out of dodge. Bearing in mind, if you block your sniper, you won't be able to do anything.
Yes.
So yeah, perfect.
Run!
Run, Forest.
get
I know
them
that's not World War II.
To
What
here.
was that?
I made it.
Run.
Yeah.
Captain. What was his name?
Very good. Facing the wrong way. Why
Yeah,
not?
there we go.
Bring your dice.
Get out of here.
Bring
Yeah.
your
Should I
dice.
have them facing...
It
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
You've got
matter,
three
they're
slots.
360
Whatever you
degrees,
prefer.
Yeah.
For aesthetics reasons, you're running that way.
Yes, it is running away.
Well, they might have
Okay.
stopped next to
He's
the
even,
boulder.
my
and take a
commander's
look.
even pointing
Back to base.
the direction that he wants to run. So it's there we can
Yeah.
see the retreat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and the next action is
It's
Grey
German
again.
again.
Germans.
This could be important as well.
I don't have a Panzerfaust anymore.
You don't.
not
Not
there.
within range of
You
the
have
tank
it
anyway.
there.
So
Yeah. So you can go 6. You'll be within 12, but it's a long range shot. Probably not much cover there because it's fairly exposed.
Yeah,
But,
and just the way he's sitting actually. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be a size shot, but you know.
It would still be a 6 to hit.
However, I think I would rather just charge these guys in here and.
The other thing you can do, that tank hasn't moved yet. So what you said before, now they could even charge the tank and try to place, you know, hand grenades in the right places and try to hurt it. With 4 guys, possibly not the highest of chances, but I think it's possible. I don't know. We'll double check that.
Would it not
the most you
force
get
the Sherman to lose all its pin markers and therefore act normally?
Would do that, yes. So you're thinking tactically it's probably
at the
better
moment, the
not
Sherman, if it wants to do anything, is at -3. If you assault me and we both lose our pin markers and you don't destroy me, I get to act normally. Personally speaking, I think that's a...
No, I think you're right. You're absolutely right.
Actually,
yeah. It's probably the chances of destroying it are not high.
Yeah.
The chance of taking away the pin markers are absolutely certain. So, no, you're right.
So, but yeah, you're right. This squad, if I come through you and go to there,
I want to assault them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Test at -3.
Assault.
No, this is bad actually. This is 9, 8, 7, 6.
6. Yeah. So basically, they're lying at the bottom of the ditch, kind of going incoming airplane.
7. They didn't do it.
If your command section had run that way to help out instead of following the objective, you'd have been fine.
Yeah.
But the objective is more important.
Yeah.
Yep. So you put a down order.
So a down order on.
And you don't lose any pinning markers. Yep. So they're staying down in the ditch. Kind of going, no, we're not moving.
Okay.
No, you go charge them, sir. We're staying here. Here's the Americans.
It's Americans. Okay, so I've got to get off that command section. I can pretty much ignore everything else. I do believe I'm going to give these guys a run order. If I give them an advance order this time, I'm going to be extreme long range, loads of cover in between us. And actually, if I run and then act before you do next turn, I might catch up with you.
So the gamble is you're hoping to move again, do a double tap.
Do a double tap.
If you don't, then But you need to give it an order.
Yeah. So test at -1 for the pin marker and minus another one for the NCO. So you've done a good job on them. So 7s, and I've rolled an 8. They go down.
Oh. Sergeant's head has exploded. Thus they go down. In fact, again, you rolled an 8. If the NCO was still alive, they would have followed up.
They would have.
That's right. Yeah, because an 8 was what they needed. But unfortunately, having lost the
team was very effective then in that.
Exactly that.
Yes. They are an effective team. If you have seen them.
Well, you know, the designer is a genius. So.
And modest. Yeah.
I'm talking about Rick. Clearly. Yes.
Okay. So hand in the bag.
Hand in the bag for the next one.
Back to the Germans. So you have your sniper, and you have this squad. I have
there's a
bazooka
squad there.
and a Sherman.
And can they come over and attack the bazooka?
You may assault them. I believe you have to see the target.
Yes.
Well, I can double check that for you.
Okay, so you have to be able to see it to assault it.
I believe so, but I can check. Let me check that.
Again, the other option is to just jump over.
Yeah.
Panzerfaust there and the other
And
shots.
shoot them up. Actually, that's not a bad one, is it?
That's exactly what I'm going to do, actually. So.
But still check, because I'm curious to
Yeah,
remember
it's a curious thing. And again, you've got no pin markers on you at this point, because you're after an assault, so we'll get the Panzerfaust as far forward
you
as
need to see
possible.
the target, yes.
You need to see it to be able to charge it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And these guys, it doesn't matter where they stand.
Yeah.
In fact, at some point, you've removed the LMG figure, but we'll put it back on.
Oh, did I pick up the wrong one, did I? Okay.
Let's not cripple you too much.
That's the one there.
There we go.
Okay.
That's more
right.
like it.
So,
so which one do you want to do
change
first?
that slightly.
Yep.
In that I'm going to Panzerfaust that, but I'm going to actually shoot at those guys.
I thought you were going to say, I'm going to fire the Panzerfaust at the guys and the rifles at the tank.
Let's pretend they were that way.
Yeah. Okay, so...
so the LMG is at short range. So if we do get that one out of the way first, because that's obviously going to be a different roll to hit.
So how many is it fire?
It's 4 dice for the German light machine gun.
Yeah. So it fires 4 at these guys.
And the only modifier is that you've moved.
So it's
So
4.
4s.
Okay.
Yep.
And so 2 hits.
2 hits.
Another pinning marker.
Another pin. And then 2 rolls to wound.
3s.
4s.
4s, sorry.
Yeah, so
and one guy dead.
1 guy dead.
Okay.
Now these guys have 4 pinning markers on.
Now your SMG is out of range.
Yeah.
And he acted as an assistant for him. So that's all the shooting you've done up there.
Yeah.
So now you've got your Panzerfaust.
And if I shot my Panzerfaust at them as well,
You could have killed another guy.
he's out of range.
But actually, he's out of range.
Okay, but he's in range for that, and he's on side armor.
Yeah.
Right. 1 shot What is it, a 4? Or
It starts on a 4 because it's a shape charge. You've moved, so it's a 5.
Yeah.
And it's long range, so it's a 6.
Oh, right, okay.
But it's got to be worth it, because if it hits, it's going to be devastating. Oh, 4.
Missed.
Missed.
So replace the Panther Fast guy with a
normal rifleman.
So now your chances of taking out the tanks are really low. Possibly an assault is the only chance. Really, an assault is the only thing you can do.
Or you can just wait for me to batten down the hatches and not move at all.
Right, that's the end of that turn as well. So they did an advance.
They did.
Yep.
Okay.
They did.
Next dice.
Okay, let's see if
Oops.
it's German again.
German.
So you've got your sniper team left.
Sniper team.
Sniper.
Right, I only have one shot with the sniper team because I can't fire through friendly units.
Correct. So,
which means I can only go this direction.
and they're all riflemen, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
about
really
that.
matter.
There's no penalty. There's no bonus.
One
for
shot.
not
I just
shooting.
want to get a hit, put another
Yeah,
pin on
exactly.
them.
It is.
Which you did.
And roll to wound, which you don't.
Which you don't.
But it's another minus one.
They're already down and still under fire.
You see the pin markers stacking up now towards the end game, can't
Yes.
you? So
And also losing officers, losing sergeants, etc. The actual leadership of the guys is going down.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm pretty certain it should be American dice left. At this point, you can just pour all the dice out in there.
It is? Yeah, it's just
is.
Americans.
So now there's two things I can do here. I can either give these guys an order to advance, turn and shoot at that with everything. When I pass the order, if I pass the order, I'd go from 3 to 2 pin markers. So all my shooting would be an extra -2 to hit. So what I'm actually going to do is give them a rally order. So it's the first time I've done that in this game. Worth looking at. It's still exactly the same modifiers for the actual command test itself, but if I pass it, I lose 1 for passing the order and an extra d6. So I pull my stuff together, and again, it means that if I get the jump on you next turn, if I get the first dice out, I've got an unpinned, an unsuppressed tank.
Fully armed and operational Sherman.
Yeah, exactly. So starting on a 9, 'cause it's regular, the same as the infantry, down to a 6. Let's have a go. We've got an 8, so it's actually gone to ground. So it doesn't matter what order I would have given them, it still would have failed. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So for me, it was worth the effort. So now the pressure's on with the bazooka team. I'm going to ignore the guy standing right next to them.
you need to give them a dice.
Yeah. Yes. Well,
There,
there's only American dice, so have to.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to give them a run order because, again, I can't walk to see. I've got to keep the pressure on. I've got to get as many things as possible. So I'm just going to run up the side of the fence and get into line of sight for next turn.
Yep.
Give you as many headaches as possible. And last but not least are these guys. Now again, they're pretty ineffective with 4 pin markers on them with shooting. I could charge you.
Yep.
But I've got 3 guys with rifles, so I'd get 3 dice, and you've actually going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
And it would be simultaneous because you're in cover. That's pretty dire odds for me. So what I'm actually going to do is rally them as well, and hope that you're ineffective. Next turn I can jump out.
Yeah.
So let's give them a rally order. So starting on 9, down to an 8 because the lack of NTO. So 4 with the pin markers, 4 or less. It's going to be very hard, but we'll see. No, they rolled a 7.
Okay.
So they go down as well. At this point of the game, when you actually lose orders and things are a bit easier, you'll start to speed up. And it gets really quite intense. And
so I pick up everything.
Yep.
I'm going to pick up my down marker because I don't want them to stay down.
No,
obviously,
exactly.
So,
It's right at the end of the game. There's
so it's 1, 2, 3, and you have the 4. Okay.
And my 4 in there. So we've only
Hand in the bag, Alessio.
we've only actually lost 1 squad each.
Yeah.
So everything's still pretty effective. Or they have been battered.
And I'm desperate for a German dice here.
Sorry, there's one thing also to point out that I didn't point out just because there made no difference in this case. But when a vehicle fails an order and goes down, or it fails a morale test of doing down, they normally, if they have suffered pinning, so they're worried and they're kind of like, they normally reverse and go down instead of just going down, because actually going down for a vehicle doesn't give them any advantage.
Yes.
Because they cannot take cover or anything. So they normally reverse away from, just away from the enemies. And unfortunately, this one, or fortunately maybe, because it couldn't see anything in his front arc. If there are no enemy in his front arc, you don't. You just stay there.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah, that's a good point.
because otherwise we just pull out. You start to go. What is that?
If you take up a good firing position and take suppression, you could actually be forced to reverse.
Drive them back down.
Have to be reversed and be in a terrible.
Again, that's what they did. They, starting to take fire. reverse
Yeah.
out of range, out of sight, kind of thing. So
Alessio, the suspense is killing me, man. Would you pop the dice?
I picked a.
German. It's American.
It's American.
Oh, what is it? Depends. What do you want me to be? It's an American.
And the tide has turned
It is.
again. Right.
So, again, we've got a Sherman that's taken some pretty serious flack. So it's a terrible test. I'd have to fire this down. I've got a funny feeling you might be within 12 inches of the edge of the board. So I've got to do it this turn.
Yep, now or never.
So I'm actually going to go for the one thing on my side that is it's automatic and I don't have to roll dice for. I'm not particularly famous for rolling dice very well, so let's go for the one that doesn't
You
need
did fairly well in this game.
Yeah,
Remember the
it's
6
been all
followed
right,
by a
it's been
6 followed by a 6 down that stug.
Oh yeah, I think that's all my Christmases come at once with that one. It's
was good.
fantastic. In fact, should we rewind and replay that bit?
Yeah.
I'm going to go for the bazooka team. It is only one shot,
Yeah.
but it's automatic. I don't need to roll any dice for it.
Yeah.
And it's just good to hit. You know, these guys will be at 6s. Everything will probably be at 6s. So bazooka shot.
And if you did hit and he killed one guy, then it would be a morale test for that squad because at least 50% of the squad would be. So basically, it could explode your assistant with a
behind a
shape
rock.
charge.
Yeah.
Boom.
So it's going to be 6s.
Would you like to go to ground?
No.
Almost worthwhile doing it once.
For a second there, I thought,
Yeah.
no, this
No,
makes
you
sense,
don't.
okay.
You definitely don't.
It's a hit!
So we'll roll to wound.
Yep.
Oh dear.
And we don't kill the officer, but we do kill the other guy.
Well, also the shape charge is a +5 penetration,
Yes.
so you were rolling a dice with a +5. So basically, the guy has got a big hole in his chest.
yes. So in that case, he's incinerated. Yeah, he's blown
Okay. And he gets a pin.
another pin. Yes.
Another pin, and more importantly, it's a morale check because
And he gets a morale.
50% of the
50%
squad is
squad.
done. Yeah.
Oh no.
But you're fine.
He's fine.
He's okay. He doesn't disappear.
That was my chance. I caught them both running behind the
That
rock.
was good.
The second guy was a bit slower. Exploded in the flame. He hasn't looked back.
This way! It exploded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
right.
don't turn around.
The suspense is horrendous now.
Come on. I've still got another squad that can do it. I've still got a Sherman.
It's the Germans.
Oh.
So it's down to this order.
So,
It's an order.
Okay.
on a
So
run.
would you like to start with these guys that don't need an order?
I've got to do their test. So he's at 9, 8, 7, 8 because
He's an
a
officer.
thing.
Just checking
8.
whether the officer affect himself.
Oh,
Sadly, he's rolled an 11.
he's rolled an 11, so he goes down.
He does. He goes down and he doesn't leave any markers. So this is going to go into another turn.
Yeah.
The one thing worth pointing out is if you roll a 12, something, of course, you fail the order,
Yeah.
but also something goes really wrong. And there's a foobar chart
Right.
that you roll on, and weird stuff happens. Like they run in the wrong direction, they start shooting their own friends. You know, they just scared and shoot. Oh, enemies! Fire! And oops. So there's a random 6 foobar.
Right.
Okay.
Fouled
We didn't
up.
run on that. So
didn't run.
That is handy.
You do know the meaning of foobar, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
It's fouled up beyond all
Fouled up
recognition,
beyond
right?
I never heard it as fouled anything.
Really? Go on.
Fouled up beyond all recognition. Okay.
Okay.
So, hand in the bag.
Right.
I've got a bit of breathing room now. So
Americans.
Americans. I am going to once again try to rally the Sherman because I know I've got another 10. So let's try and do what I did last time. So 6 or less. 5.
Yes.
Okay.
So I lose 1
Plus a D6
Plus-
plus marker.
d6, which
That's a very cocked
cocked dice on a
Very
flat
good.
table is always impressive. There we go. 3 more. So,
Right. So he is now completely rallied.
Yep.
but that's his turnover.
Yep.
So again, it all comes down to the dice.
But you spent a turn making sure, reassuring everybody, giving up order, and Germans.
Germans.
So now it makes sense to assault it,
Yes.
because now you wouldn't lose any pity markers.
Yeah.
You can try to grenade it into submission.
You'd have to be pretty lucky, but it's worthwhile.
Well, let's think, man. You need one hit per guy.
Yeah.
So plus, you get
I'm going to use my
if you
sniper
hit with
rifle.
everything, it's +4.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to play my sniper actually because
Yep.
he's not going anywhere for a while.
Nope, not this turn. Not urgent.
Are you going to go for the bazooka?
Yeah.
I think it's a good choice.
Bazooka in the
I saw you staring at it quite
So
eagle-eyed.
I'm going to fire at the bazooka.
I've got a funny feeling you're within 18, so it's actually going to be just
2
small.
plus.
Yes.
Small team.
Small team, 3 plus.
So 3 plus.
How does it? Modifier applied.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then a 4 plus to kill him. Yes.
Gotcha.
Boom.
So
Team weapon.
team weapon. Now I do believe Alessio will
Double check
the rule. Team weapons and things like mortars, machine gun teams of 3 men. If you do an exceptional damage, which is what the sniper always counts as, you actually destroy the gun, and therefore the whole team is useless and they all disperse and are destroyed.
Remove.
So this second guy, even though you haven't physically killed him, he knows his day is done and he'll withdraw from the battlefield, and you get the dice suit.
Righty.
So that's actually, again, sniper teams.
The sniper team's nearly won this for me, hasn't it?
It's been very good.
It certainly kept you in it, definitely, after losing the STUG on 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, hand in the bag.
But it was quite spectacular.
Yeah.
Bazooka shoots, kills the aide-de-camp, the guy explodes, and then the bazooka gets shot in the face by the sniper.
If only the sniper's a bit quicker and killed him before he'd done that. Yeah, that's fine.
Americans.
Americans. Okay, so now I'm getting pretty worried that they're back there. I'm going to give them a run order. So I'm at 9, 8 for no NCO, down to a 6 for the 2-pin markers. And I rolled an 8 again, so they go down again.
Down.
The sheer weight of firepower has made them so uncertain. They've seen their command section die, they've seen the bazooka flee.
They took fire from the sniper, they took Pepio's turn, so he pinned another thing. And then Americans again.
Okay, right. So now we're going to have to throw caution to the wind because I'm not getting anywhere with my other stuff. Now that I know I've got that next turn, I can be a bit more brave with these guys. So I'm going to run and charge you. Assault with them. So effectively a -5, so 4 or less as we discussed before. If I do it, which I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't. So they go down.
Interestingly, even though you hadn't have acted that turn, I was too close for you to react. If you're within 6, you can't react.
Okay.
So, but yeah, they go to ground. They're harder to shoot at, but they're still doing now. So next dice, please.
Taking cover behind a few
blades
stalks of corn, yes. And grey.
Again, that's another Band of Brothers thing, isn't it? They were running through an open field. They took a knee. They didn't know what was going on. They just stayed there.
Yes. Checking the sky. Any more planes coming in?
Move, get them
Strafing everything that moves. Because a lot of the pinning there is from the airstrike.
Yes.
Yes, this airstrike has had quite an effect on.
Oh, these guys
Both
are.
sides,
We're staying down.
I'm going to. Well, like I said, I'm under no pressure right now. I can relax for a second. I can think, because you've moved everything. It's now down to me, so I can take a moment to think. I would like to. I'd like to double my chances here.
Nice.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move those guys.
Yep.
I'm going to run them.
Yep.
Okay. Up to the tank.
Up to.
You're assaulting the tank.
You can't.
If we assume that the tank is
can't
next
run
to the.
Okay.
Well, if it's next to the.
Yeah, let's give it a
kind
go.
of wall, wasn't it?
Yes.
Except they couldn't stand there.
So they can run an assault at the end of a run, then, yes?
Yeah, that's how you assault. That's how you assault. The assault is a run order.
Okay.
And if the tank was actually not in contact with the obstacle, then you wouldn't be able to do that because you cannot cross the obstacle as part of the assault. But it was kind of leaning on side of it. So actually, for the sake of demonstration, just for this playtest, just to show people how it works, I think it's worth saying. Okay.
So what I have in there.
You have.
I have a
4
submachine gun.
Yep.
I have another.
Against vehicles, it's just 1 dice per guy.
All right.
So don't worry about anything else. Just 1 dice per
So I
guy.
have 4 dice. It's basically I'm trying to chuck grenades in the side.
Exactly.
So,
What you're actually looking for with this one is a number of hits. Gives you a 1 dice roll with that much penetration. So if you get 3 hits, it's a +3. If you get 1 hit, it's only a +1.
right. So what am I trying to get then? I have 4 dice.
4+.
And I'm trying to get 4 pluses.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 hits. So it's a D6 roll with a +2 penetration.
Right. Which means it can't do it.
You can do it.
You get to 8, which is not just quite enough. You could do a Stuart in if you're lucky, but not quite a Sherman.
not enough.
You needed to hit 1 more.
My 6s don't count for anything in this one.
No, not at all.
Just a quick question to clarify, because people will see that he's in the side of the Sherman.
Yes.
Would he get an extra +1?
No.
And that is just because of the
you're
fact
crawling,
that
you're crawling all over it. And
again,
Okay.
it's very obvious that you're in the side there, and obviously with all the shooting, we've accounted that. I don't want people to think we've forgotten it, but it's
Okay. So then my last turn.
Of course, sorry. It was also worth pointing out that if the squad was equipped with anti-tank grenades, specialized weapons against that, they would be more effective than that. But these guys don't. Just have normal hand grenades, so they're improvising what they can do.
Yeah, the hatches are well and truly closed at this point after the airstrike anyway. So
I'm now. I'm in real stuck here. So these guys here, I'm
Yes.
going to attack the tank.
Attack
I've
the
got
tank
a
as well.
roll, and I'm seeing
6 or less.
Yeah, 6 or less. So
Oh, you mean just like that?
yeah, so they've done it.
So they lose all their pin. They make it into contact, obviously, because you're well within range there. It's obviously good to note as well that if you don't destroy the tank, you come
bounce
away
back,
from it.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're into the tank again.
So,
none of these guys have any specific anti-tank weapon. So it's 4 dice again. Looking for 4s.
Looking for 4s again.
Come on, guys. Let's see what we can do.
So you got 2 again. So sadly, your best roll is an 80.
Nothing I can do again. Okay.
So, but you can imagine larger squads. You can start with 10, 11 or 12 men. If they assault a vehicle, on average they might get 5 or 6 hits.
Yeah.
So there's actually, if an entire squad goes swamps a tank, there's a good chance they'll take it out.
You do need
Or at least
lots
do
of
some
guys.
damage, yeah.
Lots of guys possibly with anti-tank weapons.
So,
yes.
I gather up.
Oh, sorry. By the way, they also get a regroup move. They can assault and regroup out
Yes.
of away from a tank.
Is it a D6 or is it
D6.
just...
Yeah, it's normal.
Okay.
Normal regroup.
Oh, so either of them,
Both of them.
Both of them.
both
Yeah,
of them
yeah.
could do
Yeah.
D6.
Yeah.
So that's for those guys.
Yep.
And
You would do them one at a time.
Yeah.
that's for these guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they provide additional cover more than the rock would have provided anyway? So
No, they might help block line of sight, but they certainly won't give any extra cover.
You cannot really-
they couldn't really block line of sight either, could they?
Not completely would be difficult.
What you
Particularly
can
from
do,
a tank. 'Cause
what you can do is actually stop the tank from getting any closer. So you could stay there,
Yeah.
as long as you're 1 inch away from me, and stop me from actually just getting into point blank and ignoring the cover, or perhaps
Yeah.
moving around in that. Because at the moment, I'm not going to be able to get too close to you. So
Right.
it might sound a little bit, gamey or whatever like that, but it's a valid tactic to try and force your opponent to do something that they're not particularly happy with.
the tank could
I am
drive
gonna
through
move
infantry.
these guys here though, the 5 inches this direction.
Yep.
Okay, because I've seen just how ineffective the tank is, so I'm just going to move them to make sure they're within range to
To shoot them.
kill
next
these
time.
guys.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, so
Doing the conga.
pick it up.
So dice in. So again,
Same.
it's down to whether or not you passed your order test,
sure it is
or
well.
before your sniper wipes me out.
Yeah.
So the Sherman is crawling with Germans, trying to lob grenades in there, but no, it's all buttered up. No way.
And the fact is as frustrating as it is, it's still possible.
Possible. Not likely, but possible.
Yeah. And
4
he
guys.
pulled it off, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's one above average. It's not too
Right.
bad. Oh, okay. So which one are you going to go for first?
Him.
Try and get the officer off.
So he needs to roll under an 8, which he has.
He does.
So he loses a pin marker.
And he can follow his order,
Which is run,
which is
He's
right.
just like, you guys, load them down.
which takes him off.
I'm gonna bring help.
Bang.
Bang.
Game
So there we
over.
go.
So,
Game over.
At that
It's
point,
game over,
objective
man.
done. Very, very good.
well, that was hard fought. So, guys, that hopefully gave you a real flavour of bolt action. It ebbs and flows. I was on edge pretty much from the start. It's just a constant sense of, because there's a chaos element, because there's no structure, no complete structure to the whole thing, the planning, I can continue to plan ahead, but
That plan changes.
chaos can always take over and affect my plans.
Yep.
Can I quote the Joker from the Dark Knight?
Yes.
You know the thing about chaos? It's fair.
Yes.
Which I think is important, because actually, yes, you're not in control. The enemy can get 3 actions and you get 2, but it balances out at the end of the turn, of course, and it carries into the next turn. So you build your strategy on, if I get a lot of actions at the end of the turn, that means I can double tap with a lot of units.
There's something to be said for this particular, even just as a demo game,
Yep.
right? At any point, you could still have won the game.
Correct.
And even with that very last move, I still, because of the pinning building up and the tension building up, I could have still have went down to ground again. The Sherman could have come in, and at any point you could have won the game. But you know what? At any point, I could still have won the game.
Yeah.
It was so razor edge.
That's what I'm saying. It's
And
fair.
I have
It's
a
fair.
feeling that that's not just that demo game. That is the mechanic of this game. It creates the scenarios where there's a razor edge.
Yeah.
to
It's
the
actually
thing.
very difficult to wipe out squads wholesale.
Yeah.
The pinning and the taking off a few casualties at a time builds and escalates, and it does, like you said, the tension builds. These guys didn't hardly do anything, but when they did, they came in, they assaulted them, they didn't strike, but they got in the way.
Yeah.
It's all part of a bigger thing. So yeah, very very famously on the order dice, Rick pulled 13 dice in a row out of 14. We had 14 dice each in the bag. He pulled 13 in a row. Went forward, his entire army basically moved.
Yeah.
It was a terrible thing because the other army obviously got to react and do everything untouched.
Yeah.
So it is a huge thing to think about. Your plans are changing all the time, and you've got to think on your feet. Basically, it's you can't have a game plan from turn 1 and follow it through to turn 6 and win.
Yeah. Well, guys, if it's the game for you, there's a dead easy way to get into it. You pick up this Assault on Normandy box. It has the rule book in it. If you decide that you want to go a bit further, there are individual army books that take what's in the main rule book and expand it even further. And if I'm correct, there's British, American, Germans, Russians already out there. And we're not far away from seeing Italians and Japanese.
Japanese in a few weeks.
And French. I mean, the Japanese are the next one to come out, and will be followed by the book we call the French and the rest of the Allies, which basically includes the armies of France, but also it gathers quite a lot of the other minor that were fighting on the same side. So you get Norway, let's see if I remember them all. You get Norway, Holland, Belgium, Greece, Poland, and partisans. So all exactly, they're all lists, sub-lists, smaller lists, of course. Then the main was French is the biggest one, the bigger one. But that book includes basically the French and the rest of the Allies, followed by the next book, in the series, which is the Italians and the rest of the bad guys. So you get the Italian army, which again is the core of the book, has a lot of it, is the biggest part of it. And then there's the Finnish army, there's the Bulgarian, Hungarian, and Romanian armies, and that's it. Yeah, so that book has those lists in there. So by the end, you have all the axes and all the allies.
If you want to replicate what we've played here, just grab yourself that box and grab yourself a Stug and a Sherman, and any kind of a token or a marker that's going to act as a plane. I think you can even get these guys here from Warlord.
We sell those on the website as well.
Firstly, a big thank you to you gentlemen for showing me the game. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant.
Well, thank you.
I really enjoyed it. To be honest, I actually feel like I need to go and take a rest. Seriously, the tension has been so much. I actually do feel like I need a bit of fresh air because it's just been so razor edge. The tension has built. It's been quite an amazing experience actually playing it because of the just that level of tension building. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be looking more and more at bolt action over the coming weeks and months. But certainly, I know it's a long video, but if ever you wanted to get an insight into what this game's like, I think that's just giving it. So, post your comments below, any questions, suggestions, requests that you might have, and we will certainly try to action each and every one of them. And we'll get Alessio to take his hands out of my bag. Alright? We'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.
See you later, guys.